Yes, good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation. So I was really a little bit confused. So shall I talk about sustainability, which is a very old item? Maybe we should talk about circularity, but I'm not allowed to talk about that because I should talk just about architecture. So that's a little bit of pity, so we don't talk about the Universal Declaration of Material Rights, we don't talk about material as a service, we don't talk about a new perpetual chain we have to create, so we just talk in a sense about old architecture. So, but in the end I will try to make the connection to all the other things. So, because I have an architecture office in Amsterdam, and in 1992 I said, the only handicap I have, I just can design in a sustainable way. I have no clue how to do that. Maybe you can learn it on the university, but the only way I can work is in a sustainable way. So in 92 everybody was laughing. I said, oh, okay, very nice. So let's do the good jobs. And I did this for a very long time until 2010, and then I got a child illness for the second time. And then I went to the doctor and he said, yeah, Thomas, you have a child illness. Yes, that's what I already know because I could see it in the internet. The question is, why do I have for the second time this child illness? He said, that's very clear. You're still not doing what you really want to do in your life. So that was very clear. So I went home and I started a second architecture office together with my wife. And the second architecture is about the architecture of a new economical system. Because we have to change, as you know, of course, we have to change everything. And sustainability is optimizing the system. But if the system is wrong, we shouldn't optimize it. We have to transform the system. So we have to be very clear, sustainability is not the solution for all the problems. It's a partly solution for the problems we have. So, then we have the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. You all know them, of course, and I think you have to work with it. But and last December I was invited by the United Nations about the Sustainable Development Goals, about the Universal Declaration of Material Rights. Because if we have rights, materials, they also need rights. And then they asked me, so what do you think about Sustainable Development Goals? I said, this is a brilliant idea. And then they asked me, do you think it will work? I said, no, of course not. Because it's 17. And you remember very closely, when you were 17, it's not a good age. You're not allowed to drive a car, not to go to the movies, not to go to the election. So with 18, you're an adult. I said, if you want to change the world, you need an adult instrument. And then you need 18 SDGs. And no one of those SDGs is about the why. They're all about the how and the what. And that's regular the way we're talking about everything. We talk about the how and the what, but we don't talk about the why. So let's start to talk about the why. We know the balance between us and what everything makes life possible is not okay. So that's why we have to change everything. And the 18th is about the attitude and humanity. It's about the relation between us and everything what makes our life possible. There we have to work on. So, we have 18 SDGs. And now we work together with the Vatican to adopt the 18th SDGs with some of those religious leaders next year. And I hope next year they will adopt the 18th SDGs. So I will give just a small introduction, just some projects I did before 2010. This is already mentioned, the WWF in Zeist. This is a villa, also in Zeist. We did this together with a powerhouse company. The WWF is an energy neutral building. This is from Apenhal. It's a monkey zoo. It's a wooden construction. It's also energy neutral, of course. This is the first energy neutral office building in France. It's from 2008, I think, in Lyon. Before there was no this kind of buildings. This is a building from the university in Siegen in Germany. It's from 2001, and it was an experiment to see what does it mean if we just focus on daylight in the building. What does it mean if daylight is designing a building? So what happens then to the building? So on one side, on one hand, we have to make a design, but we take all the designs as a kind of laboratorium for ourselves. So we always try to figure out something, to have an experiment or whatever. This is our very first design in the very beginning. This is a municipality from Zutphen. It's a combination between old buildings and new buildings. There already we hired the roof for a PV cell. So we produce in here, in 1996, we produced our own energy in the building. And that period it was really very unusual to do this. This is a school very close here. It's in Eindhoven, the Christian Huygens School. So the whole roof is completely activated to change sunlight into electricity, and we have an energy exchange program with a sports school behind. So we exchange energy with the sports school and warm water, and that was the first time that we can make this kind of combination between different kind of buildings. We also wanted to connect it to the housing beside it, but we were not allowed to do that. So this is the school inside. This is an experience to create a special shadow on the building from the Living Corporation Company in Enschede. Oh yeah, and this is the old construction from WWF. So we used everything we found there. We use it, we keep it, and then we start to build the building again in a different way. That was in 2006. And this is from 2011, after my child illness. And this was the first building with a material passport. It was from the municipality in Bremen. And they were asking us, so we need a new building, but we know maybe just for 15 years, so we need a temporary building. But everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. The consequences are permanent, but everything is temporary. And if you make a temporary building and everything is temporary, you have to design it in a completely different way. Because then the building is becoming a kind of material depot. And we don't build anymore. We have to organize a logistic process. With the result, a building. So we started this experiment here. So the first visitors were Google. They just come along and say, so what is going on here? This is a completely new concept. And can we use this for our headquarters in England? This is another building. This is from Alliander. It's a Dutch network company. And they said, this is really worthless. This is a very worthless building, so let's demolish it and let's create a new building about there. And I said, oh wait, let's have the perspective of abundance. Because if you have something in abundance, it's very easy to share. There's no problem to share it. If you have scarcity, then it's a problem to share. So we said, so what do we see here in abundance? And I hope that you will agree. I think we have ugliness in abundance here. And everybody agreed. We said, okay, let's write down ugliness. Let's write down what is in the building. Let's use the building as a mine, because if something is a mine, you write down what is already in there. So we did this for 2 weeks, and then the guy said, wow, I didn't know that I have all this kind of materials. So this building, maybe the building is worthless, but not the material. I said, yeah. And they said, okay, can we use maybe all the materials from this, can we arrange with this material the new composition? So what you see here, these are different kind of buildings. We have a public space around the building, and then we put a big roof, about 6,500 square meters, about those buildings, and this is the building. So what you see here, it's coming back for 82% here. So 82% of all the materials here, they belonged to that mine, which was worthless, which we would destroy if we haven't write it down. In the beginning, nobody wants to work here. Now the people are, now we have I think 1,500 people who are working in the building. And it was really it was really an experiment, because even this building is designed as a material depot. And we have a consortium which was responsible for the performance of the building. So here you see the old buildings on the right side. This was public space before, and the cars were parking here. And then we had to make a roof, a steel roof. And regular, if you make a steel roof, you ask a steel company to design the steel roof and to make it, right? But the steel company, they have the completely wrong business model. Because the business model of the steel company is to sell steel as much as possible. So if you ask them to make the roof, you pay much too much. Because you have to serve the business model. So we were asking, is there a steel company with a business model that it's better to make a construction with less as possible steel? And that's the roller coaster company. Because they have to make a very safe steel construction, and it's completely disassembled, and then now every weekend we have to build it up, we have to build it down, and we have to transport it. So we have to create it with less as possible steel. Because otherwise it's getting too expensive for us in the maintenance. So we asked the roller coaster, maybe you can feel it a little bit, to make the roof. He used 35% less steel than a regular steel company. So if we ask the question to the people who can think it, we can save money and we can save material. But this is not the regular way we do it. So this building from the outside, of course it's energy positive, we do this since 20 years. I have no idea whether this is still a problem. Technically it's very easy. I think it's a problem of the lobby, because we separate the government and the church, but not the government and the lobby. And that's our real problem. In the future anyway, energy will be free. So we are producing here 1.5 million kilowatt hour a year. And with this energy we can serve the whole building. This is a new terminal. We got the question from Schiphol. Can you design the most sustainable terminal in the world? Because we want to be the most sustainable airport in the world. And I talked to the CEO, it was Mr. Nijhuis. I said, Mr. Nijhuis, this is a really strange question. I mean, the most sustainable terminal in the world is a terminal he never built. This is a completely nonsense question. But if you want to have a terminal which is getting more and more intelligent through time, and where you want to innovate on daily basis, we can design this. So this is the terminal. It's a rotating platform. So it's not a parallel ground service, it's a sequential ground service. So you need just everything once, and not everything on every gate. So for EasyJet maybe it's 25 minutes, for KLM 3 hours, for Air France 3.5 hours. And you see it's a kind of a McFly. The turnover from the people who are working by McDrive is 4 times higher when they work outside by McDrive and not inside. Inside it's a parallel ground service, outside it's a sequential ground service. So you see the solutions we need are based on a completely different kind of mindset and not about optimizing the system. This is a master plan from Paris. That was a competition. The first circular business and leisure park very close to Paris. We will start this next year, and this is a kind of a big ecosystem. And an ecosystem means you don't serve anything in an optimal way in your system, but the whole system is an optimal system. And you see we have a lot of greenhouses over there. So let's start with a small project. This is Amsterdam. It's Eiburg, and the question was about this part with a commercial plinth. And it was the volume, so that was the maximum volume we could use. So we thought, okay, so we want to have a connection through the block so that you don't go around the block, but that you can go through the block, because it was let's say, the last block from the city or the first block from the city. It depends on the perspective. And in this green area, everybody should meet everybody. Then we have a commercial plane, so we want to have some functions down there for the people who are living upstairs. Then we want to separate the bikes and the cars from the pedestrian. And we need a connection to the blocks beside. And then we have different kind of housing and apartments. And here you see the section. You see the parking, and the parking is half in the ground. So we can use this as a kind of a mezzanine in the commercial plane, so that we can combine this. Of course, it's energy neutral, and these are the floor plans. So I think it's very easy to read this. We did this with a developer who was a custodian. He said, okay, we take care for this block for 30 years. And if we earn more than if the, the rendite, het rendement,
revenue.
The revenue. If the revenue is above 7%, then we started the foundation. So we create a foundation for everybody who's living in this block. He's a member of the foundation. If he's leaving the block, he's not a member anymore. If you're there, you're a member of the foundation. And if the revenue is more than 7%, 50% of it we give it to the foundation. And 50% is for the developer. So that they earn money in this block, and then they can create more and more value through time in the block because the revenue is higher. So we have different kind of apartments. These are modular. It's a kind of modular system. Of course, the city, I mean, everybody is circular, culinaire, ordinaire, arbitraire, whatever. So, and you know it's not true. We all use words, and even mostly we don't know what they mean. But now everybody is circular. And they said, okay, so we have to serve all these aspects. And here you see the system. It's a modular system. So it's a wooden construction with a concrete floor, because for the fire. And these are all the different things we realized. So it's a very simple system. This is from the inside. This is from the garden side. This is from the outside, and this is the entrance. You see here the commercial plane, and here you enter, and here you can go through the block, through the green area. The EPC is here minus 0.34. So this is far away what you really have to do right now. Now I come to another project, to a very small one. We are just working on. It's Bird's Eye. It's a kind of a watch point for birds in Haringvliet. It's in the southeast of London, of the Netherlands, and it's a Droomfonds project. And you see, it's a beautiful landscape. And of course, okay, to make a building here, this is not a good idea. So then you destroy the quality while you're coming for. We have beautiful birds here, the Grote Stern, and they come from very far in the north, and then they have a break here, and they put their eggs, and then they move, and then they go to the south of Africa, and then they go back. So this is they're halfway here, so it's a very famous point, and it's a very famous point to have a look to these beautiful birds. We have different other birds here, so we should create something for all this kind of birds without destroying the landscape. And then it's the question how to get there. So these are the drawings. So this is the island. So we put it here on the end of the island. So we have a tunnel here. So you go through a tunnel so that the birds that they don't feel that you're there. And then you end up in a very special construction. And you will end up here in the egg. You see here, this is a tunnel, and this is a harbor. So the entrance is somewhere in the harbor, and then you just go through the whole area, and then finally you will enter a very special building. And the very special building is an egg, so you have a lot of kind of experience on your way to the egg. And this is an island where the birds are, so you come very close. This is the elevation of the building. And of course you're using all kind of different natural materials. Then we have the point, so when can we make a building? What is the best time? What is about the water? Because the water is moving. So we have to finish now the building in, I think, in 10 days. And we'll open the building on the 30th of March. But the question is, how can you create a building there? And these are the special places for the birds. They are here, they are in the tunnel, so you can have a look here. So you come very close on one side to the birds. So opening, this is the section, so this is the tunnel you go through to go at least to go to the observation area. And this is the observation area. We have a platform, we have a small stair house, we have a bank you can sit in. How can you create this and how can you have a look to the birds without disturbing the birds? So we said, okay, let's make an eye. And we create a kind of a nest where we put the egg, and the nest is here. And down there we have water, and then we make this kind of egg, and in the egg you have a platform, and then you can have a look to the landscape. And then it's very interesting if you ask a German construction company to have a look to the Dutch constructions. Mostly they say this is really impossible. That doesn't work. If a Dutch constructor is looking to a construction from the Finnish people, they say, it doesn't work, it's not allowed. So we worked with the Finnish construction company, and they allowed everything, and we ordered the whole egg in Finland. So this is the construction, this is the egg, it is still an artist's impression, and this is the egg. So I think we ordered 1,100 of this wooden stakes. They're all numbered, they have all a code. They were cut in Finland by a special computer program. It's a kind of Lego system. They put it on the boat and they bring it by boat to that place. And then we have to build it up. So you see here, this will be the island for the birds. So this is our working site. Here you see the tunnel. The tunnel, of course, is on the ground, and then we fill it up. The platform, and then we start the Lego system. And then you see here, these are the connections. So it's a completely dry connection, so you can disassemble it at every moment. So this is the front, and now you can imagine the egg is growing and growing. This is a path in the building. That's the egg. It's the egg from the top, and now we have to cover it up. And now you see this is a place where you can have a look to the birds. So it's very small, but there can be a lot of people in the egg, and they are not seen by the birds, and then they can have a look outside. So they have to be in a hurry because we have to leave the place because it's a very special natural area. And here you see the construction. We asked a regular firm in Holland to do it, so the price was 3 times higher than we paid by asking from Finland and bringing it by boat from Finland to Holland. Now here you see the form, you see the elevation, you see the platform. It's quite huge. It's about 30 meters, and of course it's still a beautiful area. Then we have the Triodos headquarters, the third one. We've already done the first one. The first one got all sustainable prizes in 1999. Then we did the second one in 2005. And now this is the third one. And this is the site. This is Driebergen. It's in the east side of Utrecht. And what you see here, this is the train. This is the train connection between Holland and Germany. So the ECI from Amsterdam to Frankfurt, they cross here. They're making huge new construction there for the train station. It's unbelievable. I think they spent 250 million on that side. And this is a very nice countryside here. And the trio said, okay, let's have a building here on this spot. Very close to the train station, and there's a small villa here. And they started the bank in 1985, so this is back to the roots. But how can we do this? So this is the whole site. I think there's a pointer here. So you see here, stop. Oh, here, daar. It's not working? It's not working? Okay, now then I try this, okay. So, so this is a bank. This is a bank building, this is a parking area, and this is the whole site we worked on. So we made a kind of a whole program because the Trius Bank is coming on that side. And this is a little bit about the design process. So then you have different kind of options. You said, okay, it could be like this, or it could be like that, or like this, and then you analyze, and then you see what are the good arguments, what are the bad arguments, and then you make another variation, then suddenly you really we try to find the buildings. We try to find the person who wants to stay there on that side. And now you see the building, and we designed it because we have a lot of animals here, so we have to take care for the animals and for the trees. That's because of the different height of the volumes. This should be the atmosphere in the building. And then we have 3 levels. So we have the levels of where you see the people, let's say the social level, the public and the private level, where the visitors can see the people who are working there. Upstairs it's more private. This is just for the organization. And down there we have all different kind of functions. But the point was, the question was for 2011, we had the crisis, and the CEO from Triodos, he said, Thomas, we don't want to have a regular building. We want to have a real estate from the next generation. So we want to have a real estate 2.0. We have no clue what it is, but if we don't do this, it's not a good idea that we get a new building, because there are so many empty buildings around here, and everybody's asking, so why don't you use an empty building? And they said, we want to show and to know what is the next step in the world of real estate. And this is a floor plan. This is a main floor plan with the entrance. So we have restaurants. Then we have a kind of a conference center. We have a library in the building. This is one of the upper floors. And in fact they are all the same, but the interior is completely different. And the interesting thing is it's all wood. So it's a completely wood construction. So everything what is underground is concrete, and everything what is above underground, nearly for 90%, is wood. So, and that was really very interesting. So what does it mean to make a wooden building? So this was the preliminary design. So we had a kind of a traditional construction. Now this is the next phase. So we have a wooden construction. So we said we want to eliminate concrete as much as possible in the building, and we want to bring in wood. So in fact it's a kind of hybrid system, because we need some steel in the elevation because of the movement of the wood, because even all the floors are out of wood. Even the place where the elevator is done out of wood, and this is one of the details. So this is a wooden construction, and the wooden construction is fixed by a beam of steel which is going around. So this is part of the wooden construction. I think we have 400 of those elements. This is, I think, last November. So we started. So we are doing the whole building in about 20 weeks because it's completely prefabricated. And now you see here that we need at the outside we have the steel construction to stabilize the whole wooden part inside. Everything is screwed. So until now we use 160,000 screws for the building because there's no chemical relation. All the connections are dry connections. This is for the elevator on the right side. So this is not Austria or Switzerland. It's Holland. It's 50 meter high. It's one element. So it came by truck in the night because it was quite long. But it's 50 meters long. So you see here the wooden floor, and the wooden floor is about 10 centimeters, so it's really very thin. This is the outside. This is the installation, and this is the building in the landscape. And it's from the outside it's 100% glass because glass is very important. Even if you want to save energy, you need glass. Because the energy consumption in the building is 2/3 is for the light and 1/3 is for the climate. So everything what you do for the light means you need less energy. So we had a huge discussion with all the consultant offices. They said, no, not so much glass, it doesn't work. At least we found one company who can really calculate it in a very good way, and they could show that the energy consumption is lower with so much glass in the elevation. This is one of the towers. Of course, we have a lot of trees here in front of the building. So this is the entrance area. So you enter from the left side, and then you see the wooden construction. This is the restaurant over there. And these are the working floors. This is an element between those two towers. Where you go through, and this will be then the building, and it will be finished at the end of the year. The people will get in the building. So we need about 10 months to finalize the whole building. It's 12,500 square meters. Tot slot. I thought maybe it's just good to know that we all talk about what is technically possible, how should we do this, what can we do. I think this is not interesting at all. Because if you don't know why you do it, it makes no sense to do anything. And the why is, I think, this photo. This photo is from Christmas night, 1968, from Apollo 8. They want to go to the moon and they explored the Earth. Because this is the most famous photo from the trip. And the whole sustainable movement started after this photo. Before this photo there was no sustainable movement. And the reason is that the human beings, we realized that this round, fragile table is served for us. It's not from us. It's not from Shell. It's not from Apple. It's not from Philips. It's from no one. It's given to us. So we are the guests and we are not the hosts. And this is the big difference. Do you want to be the host? Do you think you are the host? Or do you realize that you are the guest? And if you are a guest somewhere, then you want to know, okay, what are the house rules? Let's have a look to one of the house rules of planet Earth. And one of the house rules of planet Earth is, it's a closed system. What we have, we have. What we don't have, we don't have. And everything is equal important. And worthless doesn't exist. Everything what is worthless is not part of planet Earth. So that means if everything is important, we have to take care for everything. And everything means that in a closed system, that everything is limited. We don't have any scarcity. You can't have scarcity in a... The only thing you can have in a closed system is, oh wait, it's a limited edition. So everything which is given to us is a limited edition. And then we have a look to waste. What is waste? Waste is a material without identity. And then the recycling companies coming along, very bad companies, I can tell you, everything, oh, this is a solution. It's not the solution. The recycling companies are coming and saying, this is leather and this is this. And they said, oh, this is not good for my business model, I put it in the waste incinerator. If you go to the Rijksmuseum, you don't say, oh, I had a look to the scarcity of Rembrandts. No, you had a look to the limited edition of Rembrandts. So that means, what can we do so that we don't burn our limited editions in a raw material crematorium? That's the waste incinerator, it's a crematorium. A crematorium for limited editions. So if we want to facilitate a limited edition in an unlimited way, we need an unlimited source. In nature, it's the sun. And the sun is talking to the apple tree. Every spring it's an apple tree. Your apples are so delicious. You know what? I come back next year. I booked you already next year. So the unlimited source sun makes the limited processes in nature unlimited available. We call this the seasons. And then the question is, who or what is the sun for the second nature? Where we are working in, where we need all this kind of limited edition. And the second sun for the second nature is data. Because everything what has a data has an identity. If you have an identity, you know where it is. And if you know where it is, it's always available. Switzerland, they realized, they said, oh wait, even our mountains are a limited edition. So let's write them down. They even give them a name. So if we get aware it's limited, then we start to take care of it. So we thought some years ago, we said, okay, maybe if waste is a material without identity, maybe it's a good idea to give all materials in a building a registered, a documented, and an archived identity. Because then they never can be waste. So I showed you Brummen. Brummen was the first building in the world with a material passport. Everybody was laughing. We had a very thick Excel document in this period. And we did this, there are several kinds of buildings. And then we said, maybe it's a good idea, and how can we make it big? And then we thought, okay, the surface of planet Earth is also limited. And we invented the cadastre, because the cadastre is the documented library for the limited surface of planet Earth. So we said, okay, let's start up the cadastre for materials, the Madaster. And the Madaster will eliminate waste for 100%. And 100% is very easy. I will show you 100% or zero is the most easiest thing ever. I can tell you there are thousands of reasons for you not to be here. There's thousands of reasons for me not to be here. There's just one reason that you are here and that I'm here. And the reason is we want to be here. And everybody who wants to be here is here for 100%. And there's some for 0%. The rest is for 100%. So if we really want to do something, it's always 100%. So Madaster is a platform to eliminate waste for 100%. We started this 7 months ago. We asked 33 companies, so do you want to join us? The first who joined us were the banks, then the developers, the construction firms, different kind of NGOs, and then we built this platform.
Install, use, recreate. Install, use, recreate. Install, use, recreate. Everything is temporary, only the consequences are permanent. The sun makes finitude in nature, infinitely available. Data makes finitude of materials in the circular economy infinitely available. In a linear economy, materials get wasted, finitely available. Mining, construction, consumption, demolishing, waste, depreciated buildings, materials without an identity. Finitude is final. The earth is a closed system. Once it's gone, it's gone. In a closed system, all materials are limited editions. Let's go back. The final destination becomes the starting point. Hindsight becomes forethought. Right off becomes right down. Anonymity becomes identity. Worthless becomes valuable. Buildings become material depots. Real estate becomes mobile estate. CO2 production becomes CO2 reduction. Install, use, recreate. Install, use, recreate. The cadaster of materials, the madaster, documents the identity of materials, generating continuous access to materials. Your data is online, secure, and always available to you. This results in safety, safer choices, health, better design, convenience, effective internal and external communication, value, financial and circular residual value of materials, insight, search, analyze, steer, and manage, reduced cost, for instance, discount on insurances, lower financing needs, value for money, circularity, eliminates waste. Documenting existing buildings leads to material mines. Documenting new buildings leads to material depots. Valuation of materials leads to buildings as a material bank. Install, use, recreate. Material with an identity always keeps its value. Madaster.
So we started this initiative 17 months ago. After 6 months we got the Digital European Award from Google. They said this is a genius idea. Now we are working in 10 different countries to introduce Madaster. And our goal is to introduce Madaster in all countries where we have a cadastre. So I think this year we will start in Belgium, Switzerland and Germany. And then next year we have other countries. So you can have a look. It's in English, in German, and it's in Dutch. The Dutch government, they asked us to create a Madaster for infrastructure. That we have so many bridges and streets and rails, and we have no clue what kind of material is in it. And if we need something new, we just throw it away. So waste is a material without identity, and you see, if we change our mind, then maybe it's a much better idea than just to optimize the system. Because I really think this is the why. We have to change our relation as a human being towards everything what makes our life possible. And then we know what we have to do, but not before. Now it's 8 o'clock. Thank you very much.